Hi, Jules here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, July 21st. You'll see I did piece all of this. I really like this green. I rearranged it a bit and I split the small coordinating fabric in order to really make this one cohesive piece. And also, I originally pieced it the way I had on the wall previously. It was really long, and it just, I felt like once I added side borders to make it more proportionate, that it was going to be really huge for the content of the fabric, if that makes sense, the subject matter. I feel like, anywhere up to, say, grade 3 or 4, maybe anywhere in primary school, this is probably fine. But if I made it too big, it was going to be middle school sized, and that just didn't seem right. So I ripped out a couple of seams. Thankfully, I didn't have to rip out them all. Ripped out a couple of long seams. Split this. I cut the little pre-printed border off the bottom of this piece right here. It was like red. And now I lost about a couple of inches that way. So now it's about 46 inches long, which is a little better. So if I don't add any top or bottom borders, I think I'll be good. Right now I'm trying to decide on side borders, and I do not have, I have some green yardage, but I would only want to use it if I had used it here as well. I don't like how the two look together. So I started going through my reds, my yellows, my browns, my blues. And then I went through my whole Linus bin of like stuff that I'd kind of pushed together into kit bags, even though they weren't like pre-cut, but they were all fabrics that were donated together and were from the same line. And I came across this. So, it was in a bag with a quilt top and some squares that had already been like hand appliqued, maybe for a class, and then the person just gave up and donated the whole thing. And I had already used a good chunk of that quilt top for an actual quilt, actually 2 different quilt tops I made out of it. And I left this out. And I put it up here and I slept on it. And I think I'm going to use it. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I have enough to do like a 4.5-inch border on each side, which should make this just about right to where I want. It'll make it about 36 inches wide, which is what I try to do. For something that's 46, I would want it to be at least 36 inches wide. So I'm going to try to make it about 36. That's good because that means I won't have to shift it from side to side on the frame. And I don't know, let me know what you think. It's a weird color. It's not quite in the gray family, and it's not quite brown, but it's sort of in between. And then these are just sort of kind of really light, either gray or ecru or something like that. So I don't know, what do you think? Is it, I mean, it's just going to be on 2 sides, and then I'm thinking a red binding would be perfect, because that should make the red in the quilt pop. And there's already quite a bit of blue and yellow in there. So let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm not really sure about that. Other than that, the 9 patches that I showed off before, the vintage 9 patches, I did, I took all of that fabric that I had pulled for that, plus more from my scrap bins that I pulled that I felt went with it, and cut them all into the squares using the AccuQuilt. So I just had like a power session with the AccuQuilt. I cut a zillion 2.5-inch squares. Those are now bagged up with the 9 patches that I already pieced. The fabric that I was going to use for the 6.5-inch squares is cut into 6.5-inch squares. My original plan was going to be an Irish chain using the 9 patches. I'm not really sure if that's going to come across as an Irish chain when I piece these together. So it may just end up being, you know, looking like a scrappy 9-patch, which is fine. So I moved that whole project forward one step. I got my cutting area cleaned off to the point where now I can trim up this quilt and get it bound this week. Kind of got my area cleaned up a little bit over there so I can get back to any sewing that requires the anything other than a straight stitch, which I have the little brother for. I have some applique things that I need to stitch down, so those are sitting over there ready to be worked on. I made a zippered pillow cover for my daughter's body pillow. So I told her to find some fabric, and if she couldn't find it in here, to buy it, and I would make it for her. So she ordered it. Let me grab this real quick. This is all I have left. She ordered it from someone on Etsy, and I don't think I have any salvage left, but it was Snow White Garden something or other. It's a very subtle print, almost like a tropical print, but with Snow White on it. So I put in my first zipper in like over 15 years. Like, I don't know. I think I might have like repaired a zipper in that time frame, but I have not inserted a zipper in all that time. And I don't have a zipper foot for my FOF. I probably do for the brother, but I was stitching up the pillow cover on the FOF because it's just so fast. And I was just like, nah, screw it. But I did have to go on YouTube and look up, you know, how to put it in a pillow. I put it at the end, and obviously it's being used right now, so I can't show you the actual pillow, but I will insert a photo of the finished pillow here. And that's what I've been up to. Trying to like push through some of these things that I kind of started throwing up in the air and dealing with here and there piecemeal, and start either, if not advancing them to the next stage, then completely finishing them. So that was a project that the fabric arrived. We made the decision to do it, the fabric arrived, and I got it done all in the course of a week, which was pretty freaking awesome. That's it. I actually got all your videos watched this past week, so ahead of time. So I am looking forward to seeing what you guys post this week. I hope you have a crafty week and a good week, and I will see you next week. Bye!